Fantastic. Welcome back to the Off the Stage podcast with your host Conor Michael and this guy. As our guests, we have Swindled. So welcome to the pod, guys. How are we doing?
Good.
How are you? Yeah, not too bad, thanks. So can we get introductions? Who are you? What do you do in the band? We'll go one by one.
Okay, I'm Felix and I'm the drummer.
I'm Thomas, I'm the bassist and sometimes the lead singer.
I'm Will, I'm the guitarist and I'm playing keys and singing and stuff like that.
I'm just Alex and I play the guitar.
You're just Alex? I'm just Alex.
I'm Johnny and I sing.
So how come the singer swaps with the bass player?
I'm just that good. You know what I mean?
Steals the spotlight most of the time. Yeah.
That's just Thomas being a bit mad.
I mean, some would say I sing with the bass. You know,
It's
one of them ones.
He does make some good melodies.
Like a Zen kind of thing.
Yeah. If the guitar weeps, the bass sings.
That's not often you get a good banded bass player, is it? I should know he's a bass player. So what would you say your individual influences that got you into music and where you're at now?
This is going to be interesting.
It's
going to be different.
As a band or
is it individual?
So
Go on then, Felix.
Right.
Dave.
I'm pretty boring, right? So I grew up with mainstream pop people like Ed Sheeran and Bruno Mars. The main people I was listening to as a kid. But as a drummer now, I think my influences are people like Buddy Rich and obviously John Bonham. As Johnny likes to rub in my face most of the time. So yeah, that's my main influences.
Nice.
Mine's probably just my dad. I don't really have an influence specifically in music, but my dad was in a band when he was young, and he's all self-taught when he plays the guitar and that. And I don't know, I just growing up and seeing him play all these songs and that, I really wanted to just go and do that.
That's really cool.
So I did.
It's the first time I've heard that.
How come Radiohead didn't get a mention?
Because they're new. They're
new.
What was the name of your dad's band?
They weren't a proper band. No. I don't come from a music heritage. My dad's not Prince.
Yeah. Just Queen.
Yeah, something like that. He's like Brian Summit.
By the hair.
Well, he's bald, so I don't know about that one.
So what's the band? What is the band name? I don't know.
I don't know. They were just a little cover band. I used to go see them in the pubs and that, and it was just a little crowd. But I thought it was just the best thing ever. So I went into all the school bands, all that stuff, just try to play it as much as I could.
That's cool.
It was good. That's good.
Mine's very poppy as well, like Ed Sheeran.
So you didn't grow up on Ed Sheeran, did you?
Well, I mean,
you only started Ed Sheeran the last year.
No, but when you grow up, you don't really like a specific artist, do you? I wouldn't say Ed Sheeran was the first concert I went to. You don't. I feel before you're the age of 12, you can't really.
No,
you're not a massive fan of it.
The first concert I went to was Ollie Murs.
That's brilliant. I've seen it 6 times.
Ollie Murs.
Yeah, it was great. This podcast. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, if we're growing up, then it would be the Beatles because that's just.
Well, no, it'll probably be Michael Jackson. Yeah, come on, everyone.
Yeah. Yours is Michael Jackson. You used to dance as Michael Jackson, of course. It was
but when you think of us musically, we don't really make 80s dance music, do we?
I know, but it's not what inspired you, your music. It's what inspired you to do music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you saw I'm Michael Jackson, thought.
Well, no, but I guess what inspired me to do music would have been Ed Sheeran because of the guitar. And when I started doing music was probably around Device time, so it's that's when I started doing the guitar.
When you start being a fanboy.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why. I just Is
that when you bought a loop pedal? No, you only started liking Ed Sheeran about 2 years.
No, I started liking Ed Sheeran 2017 is when I went to go see him first, and that was.
Is that at the Utility Arena?
Yeah. And and that's when it all started, and it was that I don't know, because he was just ginger, and it's just ginger.
There was a connection, instant connection.
Or Radiohead, he's actually ginger.
Is he ginger?
Is he ginger? Yeah. Is he ginger? I think
Simply Red.
I think he's just receding.
Oh, ginger spice.
He's not really a colour. He's not really a colour.
Who would you say?
You'd probably have a ginger tribute, couldn't you?
Ginger,
all the just the songs on ginger people.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Gingerbread men.
I was going to say you could call it Simply Red, but it's already been done.
Simply Ginge.
Simply Ginge.
People in China will love that.
What?
Never say gingers, do they? I got told, my mate said that he was going to move over to Japan and stuff because they get held as gods.
Yeah, because they don't say anything.
I love the tangents our podcast goes
on.
Yeah,
Scotland, Ireland.
I'm just waiting to get slated here. Like,
are you going to say McFly?
Go on, say McFly.
yeah, I'm exactly going to say
Bloody
Great
You don't boo him, I've heard your single. It's very McFly-esque.
Yeah, I seen him last night.
I'm saying it's more the fact of like the 50-year-old and still.
They're not 50.
The wannabes now. The wannabe 20-year-olds.
No, they're just a good band.
I have to say I was Team Busted at the time though.
No.
That's why you had to like one or the other.
Didn't McFly write Year 3000?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Tom Fletcher did. Yeah.
I thought the Busted.
But Busted put McFly together, and then
A lad from another bad band wrote.
Shoot, does that explain it all? If Tom Fletcher wrote Busted's best song, when were they at like their the heights? Was it like
Busted?
Like both of them?
McFly would be like 2004, I'd like to say 2005.
Yeah, Busted were like 2003 kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's before we were born.
Yeah.
Well, we're old.
Yeah.
Could be.
John, what is your influences?
Probably just Michael Jackson was the only one I can remember really.
Cool.
Like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, just because my granddad used to play them all the time. It wasn't until like when I was like got a bit later into secondary school when I started listening to like proper music. I kind of just like followed the crowd.
That's usually like that's the kind of age you start like properly getting into music really. Then you finding your own, because everyone has like a thing where the dad or the relatives listen to a song, so you think, oh yeah, I'll listen to that. But then it's only when you start kind of listening independently, like the new stuff that's coming out, that you really kind of find yourself. I find that anyway.
Yeah, well, I remember the first time listening to the Beatles again after like listening to them when I was younger with my granddad. I remember putting I put like Revolver on, and I was like skipping through them all because I think I must have saw something on the telly and I was like, oh, I'll listen to these again, and I put Revolver on, and every single song just took us back to being in my granddad's car.
That's cool.
And then I like went into his room and I was like, oh, can you remember this one? Can you remember that one? And just eating nougat. It was like this little
nougat and open the match attacks. Is that what it is? What is it like?
We used to go to the shop.
Johnny
Nougat is, you know what's in the Mars bar? That isn't the
what's in the Toblerone?
It isn't the chocolate. It isn't the caramel. It's like that's
weird.
It's just entirely what a double decker thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just that.
That's why I don't like double decker.
You don't like double deckers?
No.
I don't like double deckers.
I don't think I've ever actually
I
tried
like
a double decker.
I thought double deckers were a little bit too big. You still hit me jaw because like you have to like try and like
You
probably
need a single decker, you.
Shuttle bus. You know what? That should have been a perfect little. If they made a single decker, I would have probably had a single decker.
Yeah.
If they only ever made double decker.
Yeah. So what are you guys drinking? What have we gone for today? There's two fantastic ones on the table I can see.
Go on the first.
Well, I've just got a Coke. I'm staying sensible. Thomas,
what are you drinking?
Well, I've already downed like 7 pints. I thought it would be more presentable if I didn't have like 5 empty glasses on the table. So I thought,
It's more look like a pub chat though.
well, fair dues, but I don't want to be the old man in the pub that just sits like really racist at the telly just all the time.
You don't have to be racist.
I don't know. What are you drinking, William?
Yeah, anyway.
Everything on. I don't think this will be available when the podcast actually comes out.
It's on the table.
I'll tell you what, I'm not drinking it anyway. The Waves pale ale.
I told you that IPA gets you pissed.
It's nice, although I just spilled half of it on the table. So
It is literally everywhere.
It's everything.
Oh no! That was the best joke I've ever told. That was actually you're joking.
That's what you do.
Right, Alex, what are you drinking?
I need to leave the podcast.
Oh, he's clearly enjoying it.
Just a plain Coke.
Quite
nice. Cheers, mate.
Sounds good.
I went just with sour ramen.
Nice. Well, we always get a sour. We've got some canned sours. So I thought I'd give it a try. James has kind of got to guess every week what he's got.
Getting the word. It's got like I'd like to say like a cherry, watermelon, peach,
grapefruit.
He's going to
grapefruit,
apples and pears.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was a pear option actually. I just chose against it.
I don't know. It's strawberry.
No.
What is it?
It is a
Raspberry.
Blackberry.
Oh, blackberry
and vanilla. Raspberry, eating mess.
Blackberry and vanilla.
Oh,
raspberry.
eating mess. That's what I'm getting. That's the
I
one.
hope so.
Yeah. Eating mess. That's the one. Aye.
I was actually listening to it today, this podcast at work, and I was thinking, what was that strawberry beer you were talking about?
Oh, Fruity.
What is it like?
It's just a strawberry beer,
Oh,
but they have it. They'll have it. They should have it on draft. They usually always have it on draft downstairs.
downstairs,
Yeah.
It's
not
one
like
of them
really
where you can have one, chew if you've got a really good sweet tooth, and then after that.
It's a one
it's a good one.
You have it like the start of the night kind of thing because it's a bit fruity. It's gets you going. It just perks you up a little bit, but then it just gives you heartburn if you have another one. Like
You've just wrote your own bio there. Fruity gets you going, gives you heartburn.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to use that.
So obviously you guys have got a song out at the minute.
Yeah.
I presume you've got loads written though.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
How many?
About 30.
What would you say individually your most personal song is? What do you have the biggest connection to? What's the saddest story or the happiest story?
That'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be good to find out for all of you. Like, what is your connection to these songs? Because Jonathan writes the songs, and then I put the music to them, and then we bring it to these. But
what about your song?
Well, we're not going to get there right now. Well, maybe a bit on that one.
I'm older and mature.
So let's just say Will wrote a very personal song about a relationship.
Yeah.
Very particular.
And that's as far as we'll go.
Oh, I think we can go further.
That narrows it down because we only had one.
If you come to the independent gig, then you'll find out what the song's about, and you're like,
That's great.
Keep it good ear.
That's great promo, that, by the way.
Anyway, Felix, what would you say our most emotional song?
What do you have a connection to about our songs?
Connection, probably the only one that's like, it sounds a bit like silly, but the only one that's made us like feel a certain emotion every time I listen to it. Careful with the table, lads. Probably Life Will Carry On, My Friend. It's the only one where constantly.
That's what we'll play at the end today.
What's it called, sorry?
Life Will Carry On, My Friend.
It's in our EP, that's cool.
Yeah, we've got an EP coming out.
When does the EP come out?
December 15th.
Carry On My Way is a banger, to be fair. What about you? What do you have?
I don't really have any connection.
What about Cosmic Ruins? That's a good bass one.
Like a real answer would probably be I like Dear Past Life a lot. I don't know why that gives us little chills sometimes. I don't know why.
Little Fill in the chorus gets you every time.
Yeah, it might just be my amazing bass player. I don't know. I mean, you'll find out the gig.
Right, no. Hello.
Probably just. I think Living Strange is definitely.
No,
The thing is that no one knows.
Nobody,
Nobody
knows, because
that's the thing, isn't it? Because no one knows these things.
everyone watching
Why-
will be like, what are these songs?
Why is it personal? You know?
I don't know. It's just because
it's on the piano you wrote with Brandon.
Well, I did write with Brandon.
Hand.
Brandon Stewart is a great guy.
Is Brandon the relationship that you brought the other
But I just think it's like just unbelievable.
It's different.
No,
I think it's just like the structure and everything is just great. And
it's got more than 4 chords. That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
No, but the chords aren't even like
All the good
massive
songs
thing.
are only like 3 chords.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all like cheering fans here.
I'm a cheering fan in like 3 chords, but like it's not even like it's just I don't know. It's just a little bit different. It's not like mainstream, you know. But it's like it's just a little bit different. I like it.
I'm very actually, I kind of want to know what this is. Because you kind of say like it's exterminated.
Oh, here we go.
Go on then.
I would say Right Education.
Why?
Because it's just like so nice.
How's it personal to you?
But I didn't write it, so none of them can be personal to me.
Ah, fair.
What do you
Yeah,
feel
but
your
Fair, yeah, but
attachment
you can
to?
interpret it.
No,
Because-
but is there a reason why? Like,
Just because
you
the
like
lyrics comes out, it's already out.
November.
Yeah,
It's-
so
yeah, it's
I know what
Came
those
out
are.
November 10th.
Yeah, so it's just like the lyrics and stuff. It's like, oh, that's a nice song.
I like the idea of writing to so you interpret it to your own life. Really.
Yeah, it's like Chris Martin.
I keep it open so
Yeah.
everyone can just like go, yeah, that's happened.
That's why I like
My
Life Will Carry On, My Friend, because you can like hear it in multiple different ways.
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on
I'm not putting a
circumstance.
name to anything. Or I'm not putting like
A reason,
I'm not.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just. It's an open thing. That everyone
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'll probably say Right Education. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. Mint.
Fair
No,
enough.
that's good. What we'll do, we'll take a short break and then we'll come back with part 2. You can grab yourself a pint if you want this time. Join the crew.
Yep. And on that note, we will take a short break. We will see you soon.
Sweet.
That's the old one.
I didn't even realise it was still.
What's happening, guys? It's Conor Michael here, and to let you know that my latest single, Horse Outside, is available now, only on Spotify, because with it technically being a cover, it's not on iTunes. So make sure you stream it. For some reason, Glasgow's really took off, Newcastle not so much. Horse Outside, Spotify. Check it out. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Nay!
What that, baby?
And welcome back to side 2. Energy. Yes, I know, energy.
So yeah, part 2, we do a couple of like talks, really. That's what podcasts are. Otherwise, you know, what are people streaming in for? All 3 viewers. What would you say your favourite gig story is as a band?
Oh, this is an obvious one. Is this? Yes.
Mental that
Nothing's been like that.
So easy to like narrow.
We had a food and drink festival in the in like Kale Square.
Thomas down the bottom.
So we had a gig just in Kale Square, just down there, and it was a 10:30 a.m. start.
Nice.
So like 9 o'clock in the morning, we're like, oh, he's ready, and Thomas and no answer. I was like, oh, here we go. Thomas has got a reputation for sleeping in, by the way.
Had a reputation.
I'm fantastic.
Now that you stop the drinking now.
So it gets to 10:20, no answer. So us 3 are in the car, and we had to go to Thomas's door and bang on the door and wake him up, and we're like, we've got a gig, mate, where are you? And his mum answers the door.
No, his brother came just
in his boxes, I think.
He was like, didn't know what was going on. I was like, is Thomas here? He was like, I'll get him. And then a few minutes later, Thomas comes down in his pyjamas. And
No, I just...
Did you gig in your pyjamas?
Yeah, like joggers, t-shirt. Like.
It was just whatever I could find on the floor. I didn't
Honestly,
I didn't have to clean. I didn't have to mine.
And then the gig was actually like one of the worst ones.
Yeah, the monitors just weren't working.
Yeah.
And I've got like a head rush board, so I don't have an amp. So it's all through that.
They're amazing those. I mean, I've got it's the line 6 ones.
Yeah.
If you don't have a monitor, then you're knackered.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
we played a half an hour set, and I didn't have a monitor, and like some of the lead lines is like a distinctive part which you follow, and it's like and
the vocals are just like cut
in in one part of the song, everything cut out. So all you could hear was the drums. It was bad.
My kick pedal just broken off. I let him do a metal drummer and he broke it. Which didn't really help us out too much.
Didn't lend anything to a metal drummer.
I gave him one breakable and he managed to break it.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call them breakables.
But yeah, that's probably
that's the only one, isn't it?
Story for everyone.
Thank God nobody turned.
Oh, unless
A lot happened that gig.
We're doing a headline at Independent upstairs in June.
We're in Independent for 12 hours.
Yeah, so our mate was like really drunk, and we were like, we may as well please him, so we did an Oasis cover, and he was like loving it.
Oasis.
He's got an Oasis tattoo, so he got up and he started singing the last song, and he started singing. He was absolutely drunk, and I was trying to click my pedal board, and he was just in the way using my mic. I was like, mate, I need to click the pedal board here.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
It was a great night. Apart from we turned up at Independent at 4 p.m. and didn't leave till 4 a.m.
Great night.
He loves us as well.
Gig, to be fair.
He's going to get a Swindled tattoo.
He said he's going to get a debut single tattoo.
So we got a couple of Instagram questions that came through today.
Oh, that's cool.
At Daisy111.
Daisy.
Will you be making a music video for Right Education featuring your girlfriends?
Answer that one, John.
Is that really
Girlfriends, that one then.
That's really
That's his job.
John is
No.
To be fair, the Beatles did it well with something.
that's enough of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
The song is about
it's about
Daisy.
Daisy.
It's all about love.
Daisy111__.
Did you all write the song about her? Or?
We
got a problem here.
I hope not.
I was doing the maths there.
I mean, it makes sense to have something about her in there, but
Instead of the kids clap,
We've got a plan for the video.
We've got a plan for
We've got a little.
we're going to do it in a school.
We're not going to spoil this. We're going to spoil this.
I think we've done enough where I should hate us for this, but I think we've done enough where she can be part. I mean, what else can we do? We've put daisies on the EP cover. We've put daisies on
like Daisy's the flower, not her face.
Yeah. But they'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
That's what he wanted at first.
As the single cover, you wanted a sketch of her face. I think, you know when you say like, I agree. Do you know when you say like a pencil outline, just so the face, it's like a subtle
That's still a bit weird.
I don't want to say if that's subtle, if it's her
A subtle pencil outline of his girlfriend.
Because if it all goes to pot, which I hope it doesn't, what happens then?
Yeah.
Then it's just good memories, isn't it?
Hey, for some
I
of
was
us.
that concern about using like people you know in music videos.
Yeah.
You've got to resource who you've got, but then there's that kind of like, but in 10 years' time, someone goes up the wrong way.
Yeah, but then we're still going to perform the songs that are about them.
Yeah, that would be really...
Yeah, but everyone does that.
Yeah, but then it turns into like a breakup song.
That's what I've never really thought about really until you started writing the songs about her. Is like, what are these artists that have like that write all these songs, like Ed Sheeran, who just writes love songs constantly, and he has to sing them constantly, and he's obviously went through multiple relationships, just like.
Well, Taylor Swift made a career out of it.
Well, yeah,
The
Taylor
thing,
Swift
you go full Taylor Swift afterwards, and you get another album's worth when it all goes pear-shaped.
If we can get Taylor Swift on the podcast, James,
That'll be all right. Like,
I think we might get a couple more views.
Guess so.
We'll send her a tweet.
yeah, so apparently she does. That's one of the things. That's why she's got so big, is because she does like fan service kind of thing. So if someone goes, "Oh, Taylor, I'm getting married this day. Can you attend my wedding?" She'll just pick, like, obviously she must get thousands of requests. She'll pick one of them and she'll like turn up.
I've seen a video of
as
that.
a guest.
Like, it seems a bit like weird.
Like
Then everyone takes a video of it and goes, "Oh, how amazing, Slay Queen," and all that. You know? And it's like,
Is it RuPaul?
Yeah.
Guess it's Taylor Swift.
But like the publicity from that, it's like you can't pay enough money for advertising for like that kind of clout. It's like, so it's a good little. If you get big, just keep humble and just find someone's wedding that you can attend and play the wedding for free.
Before we get big, there's absolutely no way am I going to your wedding.
Taylor Swift's. If I get an invite, I'll be there.
We'd come back here if we got big. I think it'd be a good little like. Come back to Sunderland.
Do like a secret gig.
Strawberry beer?
Just don't tell anyone about it and just kind of.
Liam Fender doing that right now.
That's what I want to do.
I don't know.
He's doing like big secret gig around North Shields. He just advertises like tickets on sale, venue not announced. And it's just he's got like.
And then you've got to find
sold
out.
out.
Oh, that'll be a good. That'll be a good idea. Actually.
That's really cool.
If you put like a list of like venues, and then it's just like one of these is gonna be.
Yeah.
You could leave clues, like kind of like little notes, kind of under rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
The venue is, and then the internet has to figure out where this venue is. But then you'll get like the sound guy going, it's this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've got at Nick Promotions said, what/who inspires your lyrics?
Jonathan.
Me. I inspire myself.
Well, your experiences.
Come on. I think now.
But it changed a bit because tell the story again. I went to America to do football scholarship. And
Soccer or.
Soccer.
Soccer.
Not like American football.
And before I went over there, I started writing stuff because I watched Pistol, like the TV show about Sex Pistols that came out.
Right.
And I just thought, I looked at these just young lads who just didn't really care about anything and just made something out of nothing really. And so I kind of started writing songs kind of like that, where I was like, fuck the world, blah blah. But then it just kind of carried on after that. More things happened in my life. I went over to America and I started writing over there about stuff that was happening, and how I was feeling and stuff like that. And kind of just
Ghost just popping in behind it.
It kind of just all it adds up. But it does kind of come from who I'm listening to at a time. Maybe I'd hear a song and then think, that's a good idea. Like I was listening to Waterloo's Sunset by the Kinks. And I wrote a song a couple of days ago after I was listening to that, thinking I want to write a song that good about here.
That's cool. That's exactly kind of that's how.
Because I don't play any instruments or anything, so it kind of just comes from things like songs and stuff.
Because you think, that's a good idea. Like I'll do something similar. That's kind of how I do it, to be fair.
But there is certain artists that I would latch on to at different points in my life, but it kind of the songs kind of get happier now.
Oh, that's good.
But
mine don't.
When I first started, it was a bit I was just obsessed with Kurt Cobain and Ian Curtis and stuff. So people just killed themselves.
I think you grow the more you do it though. Because you always start off well. Maybe you don't, but most people start off writing the moody songs and stuff, and as you grow and you write more, you kind of you understand a little bit more about, you get a bit more creative with what you write and stuff, because obviously like shouting about how shit the world is probably the easiest thing to kind of shout about, because obviously the world's fucking shit. But to kind of the more you grow and the more you do it, to me anyway, this is my personal experience, the more you understand to write about like different things, and you kind of learn, like that Waterloo Sunset thing, like you don't get many people writing about just random things like that. It's always about specific love and hate and all that stuff.
But I was listening to that song and I was just thinking like how perfect that song is, like for such a simple song, really, for just like a verse, chorus, for like there's nothing like a day in the life about it or something like that. It's just like a simple pop song, but it's just like the riff is unbelievable, the words are unbelievable. I remember just thinking, I would like, I just want to go home and write. I kind of just like see it as like it's kind of like a diary to us. Like I just kind of like keep, even if nothing comes from the lyrics. Most of the time, a lot of the lyrics from songs are like take it from different pages. Like so different songs that I've wrote. I just like, kind of take like a little like one line and
half-written
kind of
songs
like add them together.
I've got like notes on my phone that do the same.
Got like 500 notes
for that.
I've always just been like interested in like creative writing and stuff like that, and like just putting a load of like whatever's going on in my head. Because obviously, when I don't play an instrument, it's harder for us to like write a full song without knowing what the instrumental's going to sound like or whatever like that. So like sometimes I think of like things, melodies and stuff like come in my head, and like little sounds of the songs and stuff like that. But yeah, it's probably the best thing I've ever started up. Definitely, it's been better than anything. I used to do a lot of like fitness and football and stuff like that, and that's never done as much as like writing songs has done.
Same.
You did fitness?
I used to. Okay. Honestly, I was super fit back in the day.
Weird.
I swear to God, like I was.
Was he?
Oh, I was.
I'll get you out of this.
Yeah.
So every week we have questions from the band before. Anyway. So 3 questions from last week's band, which was
Parkview.
Hey, good lad. If you had to scrap with a world leader, who would it be and why?
Had to scrap with a world leader.
Let's say currently.
Current.
You probably win the ones that are dead.
Well,
put a bit of a fight up.
Maggie Thatcher.
Well, she's dead.
That's an easy one. That
She's dead.
No, current world leader.
If you want to go really easy, Joe.
But like
I was going to say
Joe, you'd win against Joe. If it was to win, Joe
goes to sleep round one.
If you're like
Sleepy Joe.
If you're like
He
sleep,
falls over to gravity half the time. So.
This is a one-on-one scrap. There's no security guards involved. It's just you against that person.
And we have to win, or just because I want to beat them?
We do whatever you want. Like,
I'd fight Sleepy Joe. I think
it's like to win Sleepy Joe.
Oh right,
I think that's an unfair battle. That,
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just about winning. It's all about winning.
You're just punching an old man.
Yeah. It's just funny to watch videos about him. And I don't really keep up with politics, so I don't really know who's in the right and who's in the wrong side.
Who would be your worst nightmare to support?
Worst.
We have to support them or they support us?
I don't support them.
There's like glaring answer that I really want to say.
Worst nightmare to support. Worst nightmare support.
Worst nightmare, like any band, like a local band.
Any band you want, I guess.
Wet Leg.
Oh, that's not very politically correct.
No, because they just feel like they complain about everything.
Yeah.
I'd be
sexist.
I'd be happy to support anyone. Like anyone that's
that wasn't the question. No, you wouldn't.
Anyone that's bigger, then obviously I'd just be. I wouldn't be complaining.
I think I've actually got a correct answer for this.
Go on.
Jedward.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just imagining kind of like you're sitting backstage having a few drinks and they're just coming, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And you're just like, "Oh."
That's how Alex went into the room all the time.
I think the way it works is anybody who seems like, "Oh, I'd go have a pint with them," is probably a dick, and everyone who you think, "Oh, he looks like an arsehole," probably the nicest person.
Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh.
I think it's always the opposite.
They won't be like that, will they? They'll always come in and be like, "Alright, mate."
As soon as someone like starts filming, they go, "Oh, hey." Gel the fucking hair.
My bad behaviour.
Probably remember the moment.
Probably like Coldplay.
I was just like, what do I do?
Everything about them's too perfect.
Who would be the worst nightmare to support? Well, they're just too perfect, aren't they?
Well, no, like it's like the two like. Oh,
you can't say it's a nightmare to support when they're playing.
Like they've got like everything's like ecosystem and all that.
It wouldn't be anybody.
You wouldn't want to support Gary Glitter, would you? You know what I mean?
I don't think I'd want to be in his gang.
It's like he's got good tunes. I'm not gonna, you can separate the artist from the music, but like it's hard to.
So just on the artist.
If it comes on, I cover the name, and I'm like, wow, what a tune.
Who do you think is the most overrated artist of all time?
Gary Glitter.
Drake.
He's overrated.
No,
Drake all day of the week.
Nah, Beatles. I think
This is getting really offended here.
he just said the
I
Beatles,
said
by the
Beatles,
way.
I
He
said
just
it.
said the Beatles.
No, come on.
I think because of how highly rated they are.
To be fair to them, the
they
question
can't be
isn't who's a
underrated.
bad artist, it's who's overrated.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
if they're
Yeah.
always by everybody known as the greatest band of all time,
For good reason.
then they can't be underrated.
Name a band
till
better than the
they're
Beatles. No, but who would
I've
you
listened
choose?
to them.
To be
but-
fair to them, I don't think Beatles be in my top 5
Yeah.
for one band for the rest of
But
the
they've got so much range. It's like if it's just unbelievable what they did. That's what I was saying was wrong with McFly, is that they haven't really changed.
They've got
Like if
But
you
the
watch
Beatles-
if you watch any music documentary ever, the Beatles always come up in every single one.
yeah.
Oh, they're a big influence.
Yeah, you gotta give them the credit. They did it first. They influenced everybody. But I just think they're not as because of the standard. Then they're
Not
overrated
overrated.
Yeah,
because
but-
of how
but
because
the
of how bad it
Think
was.
of what they did for the standard.
Yeah, standard
Have you heard
day.
the other
Look at the
music?
standard.
And
Like
then
they're still around now. They're still getting number ones, and half of them are dead.
Because of the Beatles, you know what I mean?
It's a good
If half of us are dead and we're still making number ones, I'll be happy with that.
I know, but if that song came out and it weren't the Beatles, would it be as big?
No, but
That's
nobody
exactly
else
my
back
point.
then. Nobody else was doing like Strawberry Fields and stuff like that. And then
Well,
they
yeah.
did that, and it's like
I'm
changed
not
everything.
agreeing with him, but don't look at me.
Yeah, because now
I think the Beatles are probably real.
If the Beatles, and I know Johnny will say like, oh, but at the time they were great. But if the Beatles came out now, nobody would care about them.
It's different context because now they wouldn't survive because popular music is different to what it was back then. But you haven't listened to the Beatles, so you couldn't
I
tell.
have.
You haven't listened. You haven't
You've
properly
played
listened to
nearly
the Beatles.
every single Beatles.
Anyway, who do you rate underrated, Thomas?
Oh, I forgot
don't know
that
because-
was the question.
Like, overrated's hard to gauge because I have a very broad listen ability.
I bet you
You know
see
what I
Radiohead
mean? I listen to all sorts, so it's like it's hard to say. But if I can't really name a band, but I'm going to say the entire genre of jazz.
What?
When you get to just the massive wideness of just what jazz is, it's absolutely awful.
It depends when you're listening to
It's
it.
horrible.
If
Because
if you're sipping a nice glass of red wine,
I'd
So,
love to go to
jazz.
I'm happy you said that, because there was an episode where I did where I suggested that jazz wasn't real. It was really good musicians just trolling the world, like making up chords and just telling people this is good music when really it's shite. They know it's shite,
actually
but
makes so
they're
much
just
sense
taking the
now.
piss out of people. Aye, but I got my head bitten off. I was like, what? How dare you say that jazz isn't real? I was like, oh shit, okay.
we're
okay.
like
jazz is real.
people.
No, because isn't that kind of the whole thing of jazz? Isn't that kind of what
it's all
jazz
about
is?
improvisation and
It's
it's
meant to
about,
be
it's
absolute
about-
shite.
I mean, the jazz is basically the drummer and the bassist. Everything else is just like
It's all bands, though, innit, guys?
yeah.
It's weird to hear from a bassist that jazz is shit, but it's just because I've listened to a lot of stuff and jazz is.
Yeah, but it's definitely
jazz
just made
is-
for a certain atmosphere, isn't
Yeah.
it? You're not
No,
gonna,
Yeah, it's
I
space
get
and time,
that, but I can just sit in my room and do nothing and listen to every other genre. I could lie in
Okay,
bed
here's-
doing the luge and
Here's the
listen
thing,
to
I want to defend jazz, right? So jazz is not meant to be recorded. It's meant to be listened to live because each performance is supposed to be
Different.
slightly different. And when you listen to a big performance, there's a specific songs that they do, but then like the trumpet will take over a little bit and he'll do his little improvisation, and the bass player will start, then the drummer will do his little bit, and then it's all like that amalgamation of everything. But when you record it, you don't get that. You don't get any. There's no atmosphere. There's just
No
kind of
feel.
like there's no feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to a proper jazz club, you'll find that it's actually it's quite pleasant to kind of watch and appreciate. That's me being serious. But yeah, if you listen
and
to
that
it in
might
your
be
room, that's
why
just
I
really
have
shit.
that opinion then, because I do
same
try
here.
to keep an open mind, but obviously I've never been at a jazz club. 'cause
I would like to go
I
to
live in
jazz club.
Sunderland, and not only just Sunderland, Pennywell. Which I don't
like
think
French-
the
it's like the French
concept
Quarter.
of music away from an MC is there yet. So they're still waiting for the Beatles. It's coming soon. But oh well.
Yeah, I'd love to go to New York and go to a jazz club.
Romans are still building the roads.
I mean, I wish there's just potholes everywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, jazz. What?
Who's the most overrated?
Overrated art. I actually don't know.
Say
who
Dave
my
or someone,
overrated
right?
artist would be.
I put a controversial one
I
in,
think Dave.
especially
Ed
for my.
Sheeran.
I was about to say Ed Sheeran is
Ed Sheeran's
overrated.
not overrated.
However, he's not overrated in a bad way. This is a really weird way to say it.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran is a single musician with a loop pedal. He is now doing global stadium tours. That's not a bad thing to say he's overrated. He is hit higher than the heights he should have been hitting.
Outperformed
And I
it.
think that is as overrated
What-
in a good standard.
What Ed Sheeran did this is a good compliment, is he stopped people queuing up in lines to go on the X Factor because that's how people thought they made it. That's how people thought you became a musician. He stopped that by picking up a guitar and saying, "Listen, you write your own songs, you pick up your own guitar." And then people go, "Oh, okay, that's okay." Yeah. He's getting big. That's the kind of change the direction from X Factor dominating the entire music industry for a good decade,
and now musicians are back.
And then all of a sudden Ed Sheeran came along and just started dominating the charts, so people going, oh, maybe this queuing in line and being humiliated by Simon Cowell isn't a good way of being a musician. I'm going to pick up a guitar, I'm going to learn how to sing, learn how to play, and I'm going to write my own songs, and I'm going to do it that way. That's where Ed Sheeran is underrated, in my opinion. But when the songs are very much very good pop songs.
I'd say it's overrated, but it's not a bad thing. I'm massive Ed Sheeran. Divide is how I taught myself guitar. Now gig. I've toured this year in the UK with just a loop pedal. Like that's my genre kind of thing. But for one person to do what he's done is quite he shouldn't be up there.
A lot of people don't appreciate how hard a loop pedal is. You have we go to college, and all the people who are pro guitar people and all these music people who really take music seriously think he's just terrible. But if you actually try and do a loop pedal, it's really
especially
difficult.
At his standard, where it's playing the drums on it.
Yeah, I don't think he's overrated because I don't really meet many people where they think he's unbelievable. They just think it's just good music to listen to. You don't meet many people where they're crazy about him and say he's the best thing that's ever happened.
He's been quite consistent throughout his career.
He's very good at picking the trends.
Yeah.
All right, grime and hip hop's back a little bit, so his Equals album had a bit more of that in. Or it's a bit more of a slow country vibes coming in. Subtract had a lot of that in. He's kind of that's the trend that's coming in. That's what his next album is. He's quite good at picking the right.
I do. Yeah, I think he's really.
I think people don't rate. I would go as far as say doing that loop pedal. What he does is 10 times harder than being in a band. Easily.
I wouldn't know that.
It is. Trust us. You haven't done
it.
It
is.
I think it's harder in a different. It's harder in a different way.
Make sure you're in this band.
It's so much harder than being in a band.
But being in a band is really hard.
I'm just saying physically.
Yeah, but isn't physically playing. Because you're only focusing on one thing when you're in a band.
It's harder in a different way. It's harder to play physically, but to actually negotiate with everybody is much harder than
especially with Alex Wayne in the band.
Change his mind every 2
You just got a loop pedal,
seconds.
it's just you, isn't it? And it's just and you can just focus on yourself and you rely on yourself. But if you're in a band, you rely on loads of different people. It's just
So he's Johnny.
Yeah, but
And after a while, you probably just get the hang of it.
I think that's,
and to be fair to them, they're all good.
Yeah, but just
except for jazz.
I'll go with Slipknot.
yeah, exactly.
Slipknot overrated.
I think you know how you feel about jazz, where it's just people trying to prank the world. That is what metal is. Nobody actually likes metal. It's just they've just kind of convinced themselves that they like metal because it's like the metal where it's some screaming and some singing is actually it's fair. I can understand why you like it, but when it's just all screaming, it's a bit how do you actually?
Yeah,
there's nothing to sing along to.
We don't like screamo music. We're both wearing sweatshirts. And we like Ed Sheeran. Final thing before we go for a break on this one. This has been quite a long pot.
Yeah.
We need 3 questions for next week. Yes, final 3 questions off yourself.
3 questions.
Go on, Thomas.
It doesn't have to be music related.
I'll cook one right there. Oh God. No.
God knows what this is.
Who's the sexiest person in the band?
That'll spark some controversy.
In the band.
I hope it's just a group of old
next.
men that come on.
Who's the sexiest person in the band? That was the first question. So what's the next question?
Who starts the most arguments? I think we're going to say.
Yeah.
Who starts the most
arguments in the band?
And
final one.
And who would drink the rest of the band under the table?
Yeah, who would outdrink? Who would outdrink the rest of the band?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that question.
Who would outdrink?
Just out session.
Who would outsesh, yeah.
Well,
Who's the biggest party?
See you in part 3.
Yeah.
Other substance.
See you in a bit.
James plays with his toys in the corner. For the audio, I was going to say for the audio listeners, not the visuals.
What is that? Is that like a soundboard on your phone?
Yeah, I've got a soundboard. It's I need to update it to be honest, but I've got loads of shit songs.
So it usually plugs into the actual desk, but because we've got so many mics plugged in, it's just kind of has to play it through a microphone.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We need to upgrade to a pod machine, I think, at some point.
Yeah, but
So, part 3, obviously we normally chat about stuff coming up, but first we need you guys' help to solve a dilemma. we've got a section called Can James Fix It?
Oh shit, yeah.
And he goes on Reddit.
James will fix it.
No, we used to call it James will fix it, but people didn't like that.
Do we get a little medal as well?
Was it you in the new drama in BBC? Steve Coogan did a great part.
I don't know if we can fix this one. This is just, I think this is like an opinion. I don't know why I picked this one.
Can't fix
it just came out. It was. This is from r/musicians on Reddit. It's and this one's by username Moo Moo Out. And it says, "Can you be too flamboyant and showbiz?" Okay. Hi, I've seen a solo performer recently who is incredibly flamboyant and showbiz, making sounds during the performance. All right, accentuating everything he does. Is this the way performers should be, or is it too much? Should we just be ourselves? He's even more flamboyant than Freddie Mercury. Well, he probably did acting as a kid. Well, he could be as flamboyant as he wants.
Could be himself, to be fair. Could be yourself.
Yeah,
well, like I'm dying.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
The guy who
can
put
be
that
him
on
being
that is
himself.
the boring person in the entire universe. Oh my god.
The thing is, like, you get a lot of people on Reddit who generally are like they just have to ask kind of how should I act? It's like, just be yourself.
Yeah.
He's obviously being himself. Just although someone said Xenia Dweller, it says you have to have the talent to back it up, otherwise you're just a flake. I'm sure you meant fake. Is it just a flake?
Oh, flake could be the right word.
That's a bit of an insult.
Some people are just born for like musical theatre. Like when you meet people and you can just tell that they're like from musical theatre background, like the way the confidence.
The prance about.
But like, are we suggesting people who
just like the way
yeah,
like they have such a like as if they're always on camera and always have to pronounce themselves well. It's like, I don't know. I remember just I was talking to this person who I didn't realise she was in musical theatre, but I could just already tell, and then she said it was in musical, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But
that's it. Judge a book by cover.
Exactly.
That's what we've always been taught.
To be fair, this particular comment has like 0 upvotes. It's got like 32 comments, so it's not a very popular one. But it's like, yeah, just be yourself. If you want to be flamboyant on stage, if that's your thing. I mean, you don't even have to be gay to be flamboyant. I mean, look at flipping David Bowie. He was like,
I think he was gay though.
Yeah, was he?
He was bi, wasn't he?
He was gay at some point.
He had something going on with John Lennon. I think,
some point.
Yeah,
on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Where have you heard that?
I'm sure there was something.
John Lennon and Brian
on,
Epstein apparently like did stuff.
John Lennon and Brian Epstein.
Apparently they went on holiday together.
oh yeah, because Brian Epstein was a little bit gay, and there was a thing where he was they both shared a hotel.
they went on
Apparently
holiday.
he did
Not
some
mentioned the
things
third.
to get Brian Epstein to kind of do other things for him, and you know.
God,
But you know,
He wanted to hold his hand basically.
Yeah.
It was a hard day's night.
Yeah. Very hard. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, how do you show any? What's your kind of stage presence?
Well, he's not flamboyant in the musical theatre sense, but he's more flamboyant in
The sense that he humps the mic stand.
I think so. Right, okay.
Nice Mike Stan.
Shows a mic stand a good time.
He just humps.
I don't actually hump that much.
You do,
It was when I
Nah.
was at the
So the
bunker gig.
bunker,
The
yeah.
first when I started moving, that's when I started.
Yeah.
I was like kind of like finding my way. Now people just think I'm off me tits on drugs.
Yeah. I think the fact that we're talking about that person, or that person's thinking about that person, is good, because isn't that like the whole point? Is
Being
the
flamboyant
reason why you're on
sometimes.
stage is
Yes,
for attention?
yeah, so he's obviously or
He's
Dave,
won.
I don't want to make a not even miss. Oh, he says so it is a guy. So yeah, so he's obviously made some sort of impact, because if you just saw a random person on stage, he wouldn't be talking about
Exactly.
it. So.
As long as you've
that's
got
it.
eyes on you.
I think if it comes naturally, then it's
That's
fair
who he
enough.
is. That's who he is.
I mean, look at Tyson Fury.
Is he gay?
Flamboyant. Anything when he walks into the ring, and look at him.
Look at
Yeah, but not many people are going to
Chris
tell
Eubank.
Tyson
That's
Fury.
also what it says. He's got the talent to back it up.
Look at Ric Flair.
Yeah,
He was flamboyant. People love Ric Flair.
It is all about having
Who's Ric Flair?
talent to back you up, because like I don't really know any flamboyant people who are successful and don't have the talent.
Yeah, because you just haven't seen them because they're not talented.
Actually,
I think that's
If you're just flamboyant and talentless, then it's a bit.
then it just I do agree. You've got to be confident, but you've got to back up that confidence with substance.
Yeah.
But I've always thought
like
talent can only take you so far, and character can take you that extra.
Yeah, it's like if you're good, then that gets you there. But then if you're flamboyant, then that gets people talking about how you're there.
Exactly.
And then it's like,
I mean, look at Liam Gallagher. He's not flamboyant, but I mean, his singing could have only took him so far.
But it's
and this whole attitude thing as well.
It's singing.
It's like I was saying before, the whole laddie, the whole laddie culture is what made Oasis, wasn't it? Really, like
whatever gets you talk in people's mouths and getting talked about is good. I think it is.
And flamboyant is always one that it gets you loads of attention, because you've got the people who can enjoy you for being like flamboyant. Like everybody loves Freddie Mercury just for the way that he presents himself and all that stuff.
He backed it up with an unbelievable voice though as well.
Yeah, but on that same thing, he also got a lot of shtick by like the older generation who don't really appreciate the flamboyant stuff.
Yeah.
But in the end, that's still so much attention from either side. So it's still just getting even bigger from all of the hate.
But people say about any press is good press or something.
Any press is good press,
when that is true, as long as you're getting talked about, then that's all you really want in this kind of business.
Yeah, it is. It's like, and I think it's more relevant now than what it ever has been before, because now they say like you've got like your social media and stuff like that. You've always got to have like a face, and if you can be the most talented person in the world, you can be flipping Mozart, but if you're not showing yourself on a daily basis, being like having a bit of a character about you, having a bit of a personality, then you're not really going to get anywhere.
I think that's I think not a lot of people have personality, and like when you think back to the time of like Freddie Mercury, you think like everyone used to have in like mental personalities.
I just think now
crazy voices. Like
now you just don't dare move. Yeah, everything's offensive to everyone.
Everything is offensive, and it's just like.
I also think if you
like Ed Sheeran doesn't really have a he doesn't have. He's good, and I do really like him.
He has his own style though. He has like quite a humble style.
He just himself. That's how he gets it.
I think it's authenticity. I think that's the thing. You've got to believe it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like I couldn't just go on stage and be like stupid, like, hey. Well, maybe I could actually. Maybe people would think.
I've seen you stop mid-song for a photo shoot. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, okay, I'm just being quiet now.
That's the thing. If you did go on stage and you were more flamboyant, then people would talk about it, because it isn't what you usually do. So then that gets people to more. As long as you're selling tickets, that's all that really matters.
I think
that's true.
Be more gay.
Everyone just gets everyone gets annoyed over everything. So either way, I mean,
you're gonna annoy someone.
I mean, the people who get like cancelled for stuff now, like people think Matty Healy's like controversial, but really what is he doing to be controversial? If you go back to like the 90s, then it's game over, isn't it? Like everyone will be like dead.
I know people say he's been cancelled and stuff like that, but I mean he's not doing anything massively wrong, but he's just a bit of an arse, isn't he?
Yeah, that's people, because we like the 1975, but like to the people we always meet people that don't like 1975, and to them it's like we were in your position at one point of seeing him and thinking like he's like terrible. But once you embrace it, like his whole thing is that
Liam Gallagher,
we're kind of taking the nick out of him for pretending he's a rock star. Like his whole persona is us knowing he's not a rock star, but him pretending thinking he's a rock star.
Yeah.
And
I think he takes it too far sometimes. Like, it's a bit of the show. Eating raw meat is a bit of the show. It's just weird. Like,
no, but at least you're talking
it's
about
better
it. I'm talking about it, but that's taking it too far. And
it's get you talking, isn't it? That's the whole point.
Yeah, risk and disease off of a stage floor that you've been dancing around
for a little bit, and then you just eat more food.
I think you either love. It's like
and you can eat raw steak, can't you?
Yeah.
It's a red meat.
It's not like
it's more the fact that it was on the floor. It wasn't on a plate. It was on the floor.
Someone gives them.
It is a very clean floor. And the music is just good. It's just good to just like it's just feel good.
Yeah, the music's good. The music's good.
So then it's just
it just doesn't match up at all.
Hang on,
him. It's like
hang on. When we seen there wasn't Felix, didn't Felix say that was the best band he'd seen all weekend at a festival?
The best band I'd seen all weekend because they were the like.
Sam Fender and Paul.
You're like all favourites. Like Sam Fender was on.
Yeah, and I said Sam Fender was better.
No,
Sam Fender was better.
Yeah,
but Sam Fender doesn't have a personality.
Yeah,
Sam Fender does not have personality.
Yeah, imagine being in a rehearsal room with us for 3 hours. It is just the most annoying thing.
Obviously, this podcast is out on the 14th.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned something about the 10th.
That is Right Education.
Right Education. New single.
Many of us consider it to be our best song.
the first single will be like what people would enjoy, which is like a
it's like a
simple,
fast
simple indie
indie
sing-along song,
Yeah.
which
Most people
has
like it.
like a lot of my mates who just listen to like simple indie songs have
Like
said
it.
they like it, and then we thought, oh well, we'll put out a song that's a bit more like us, which is Right Education, that will be coming out on the 10th of November. And that's
Already out now, guys.
For me, that is more like us.
Yeah,
There's much more like experimental and
More
thought out than just like a load of noise.
Of course, when people release songs and they're like, this is more like us, this is like us, etc., the only way you can find that out is if you go to a gig, see them live.
Yeah.
After the 14th of November, have you got any gigs that people can turn up and actually go see?
It's massive indie headline that we want everyone.
Attention.
Yeah.
The most amount of people there for. It's like we're trying to make this as big as it can possibly be.
Because we're done. So independent, we're done upstairs, and we sold that out in June.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's make it a bigger show and do it downstairs.
Yeah.
So we're doing it downstairs, which is quite a few tickets to
How big's upstairs independent?
Upstairs, about, would you say, like 100?
110, I think.
110, and downstairs is like
300.
300. So it's like it's a big jump.
It's a much bigger aspect. I think we can do it.
We've done it because we believe we can.
Yeah.
We've seen, or we go to a lot of these gigs in independent, and like respect to them all. Like just they play the gigs, they play like song after song after song like that. But we kind of wanted it to be a show more than a gig.
Yeah.
We want like for people, because we haven't grown up, not me personally, Alex and people like, but we've grown up with people around us, our mates. They're not into like indie just gigs like that. They go to like techno gigs and want flashing lights and all this. And so we can't, like, for them to come, it has to be something special. It has to be something that will keep them entertained. So we kind of had the idea, it's Christmas, so we want to put as much like
December 16th,
emphasis on that. We want to like, it's just it's going to be a show more than just play song after song after song. We're going to play like,
it's not
where everything's planned out, every move's planned out. We don't want to make it so people just feel like they're just coming to just watch the mates just play.
It's hard to explain until you've actually seen it. So until you get there and see it, it's the 16th of December.
It's a Saturday night.
The tickets are out now, by the way.
Must be like maybe a week and a half before or something, Christmas.
Oh yeah. Cool.
So one of the last nights out before your Christmas. So if you want to go on a night out,
It'll be a good one.
It'll be great. I think we're planning the release. I think we're planning the after party. So if you want to go down, you might be invited to the after party.
Oh, batters.
So if people buy tickets, I presume they have to find yourself on social media. What would your social tags be?
Swindled official on Instagram, Swindled band on TikTok, Swindled band on Facebook, and Swindled official on Twitter, I think.
Oh no, I think it might be Swindled band Twitter.
But Instagram and TikTok's the main ones.
Instagram's all music most.
Find tickets at independentsunderland.com, and also the Fat Owner
There'll be in the
website.
link in the bio.
It'll probably be on a
in our
gig guide
website,
that week, to be fair.
Yeah,
hopefully sold out by then, obviously.
If it's sold out by then that's just unbelievable. Like,
If it's sold out by the 16th of December, the other 3 band members will dye their head ginger.
well,
That's a lie. Don't believe them.
I've said that. I've said if I die, like, you know, obviously not at like
Yeah, we've said that before. Like,
if I die, then you'd have to dye your head ginger for like the funeral and that.
And you turn 5, 6.
Funerals
dying
are
head
just a
ginger,
bit
you know
depressing.
that.
I feel like funerals are a bit outdated because nobody wants to do it.
No, it's going to be sad.
Come on, Will. We're talking about.
Anyway,
But anyway,
Too much death in this podcast.
Alright.
What song are we
the
singing?
only thing that's going to be
so
changed-
Life Like I My Friend is about a dead friend.
Well, that linked in perfectly well. Follow us on social media. We are at Off the Stage UK, and we'll see you in part 4.
Yep, see you later. And see you next week as well, if I can get the... Yep, we'll go.
Yeah, part 4 is just like your song. Don't worry.
I think we're being waffling.
Ladies and gentlemen, Swindled.
It's way too long, continuing to depend. The forest too big, you can burn it to mend. Crumbles your life until the end. One is enough to help comprehend, but life will carry on, my friend. Life will carry on, my friend. Tragedy strikes, then and soon crawls out of sight. He'll be in your head, it's a one-round fight. A moment in time, the tunnel has a light. Eat the show, you won't lose your appetite, but life will carry on, my friend. Life will carry on, my friend. Momentum takes hold, then quickly runs away. And care fights hard while it's still on display. Always something else deserves to replace. And for that scene, it was the act to portray. But life will carry on, my friend. Life will carry on, my friend. Whoa, whoa. It's way too long, continuing to depend. The forest's too big, you can burn it to mend. But life will carry on, my friend. Life will carry on, my friend. I said life will carry on, my friend. Life will carry on, my friend. Oh, life, life, life. Thank you.
Hey, this is Busted, and you've been listening to Off the Stage.